Hey, what's up, guys? Tremaine here. So I was editing the Amazon Prime responses to Rideshare Movie, and I came across a comment that it got a bit too real, and it was something that I realized that I hadn't addressed about the movie, about Rideshare, and that there was a real event that actually happened that was really tragic. This video isn't really a funny one, but it's something that at least I can address some of the similarities between what actually really happened and our movie, which was complete fiction. But there is a similarity. We actually did base one aspect of that to it, which I'll explain. This one isn't really for laughs. It's a very serious subject matter. I'm not kidding. So yeah, I watched the video and I'm glad I can kind of address this. And I actually appreciate the person that commented on Amazon Prime and giving me this opportunity to talk about this and address the issue and to kind of maybe rest the worries that this person might have had. So yeah, this is it.
Ooh. Oh boy. Okay. Jennifer, as someone from Kalamazoo, Michigan, where the actual Uber driver's killing spree happened, this movie just mocks way too much of the reality that my community actually went through. It's tasteless, and the fact that the main character's name was the same name as the actual killer's name just topped it off for me. I shut it off. It's sick, and until you live it and see the pain, you'll never understand. Oh boy. Well, Jennifer, first off, I want to say, obviously, sorry that you felt that way. I'm sorry, obviously, what happened in your community is terrible and horrible. I will say a couple things. The look of this character was based off this guy, and his name being Jason is based off this guy. Also, though, the killer in Friday the 13th's name is Jason, so it was also like an iconic name. We did base a look off of it, but other than that, we didn't base anything else off of what actually really happened. If you guys didn't know, in Kalamazoo, Michigan, a few years back, a rideshare driver went on a killing spree, but he did it completely different. He didn't drug anyone. He was drive-by shooting, and so that's what he did. So that's completely different. I guess he was schizophrenic. He said that the app was telling him to do this, like all these crazy things. So we didn't base it off of that at all. I didn't want to touch that story. I didn't want it to be related to it. There's been dozens of rapes. There have been other murders. There's been really shady. There's been passengers. There was a passenger that killed a Uber driver. Some girl was picked up at a Walmart, some like 13-year-old girl, I think. And yeah, so there's been some horrifying things. So that's the thing. It's like, that's why it makes a good horror movie. And it sucks because I toyed with that idea. I was like, oh, are we going too far? Is this too real for people? But the thing is, that is horror by definition. And just the fact of the matter is, yes, there is comedy in it too. I mean, there's dark humor of natural occurrences of people that happen, and also all the characters are based off people that I either met in Los Angeles or I came across or I heard other people telling me about these conversations that they had with these people. So again, like, I'm sorry that you felt that way, and I'm sure it brings up really horrible feelings. But that wasn't my intention to do that. If anything, it's to shine light on how horrible these things are so people can be more careful when they get into these situations. So anyway, I appreciate you watching the movie at least, and sorry that you felt that way.
Yeah, so now that you guys know what it was, I just want to make it very abundantly clear that my intention was not to make light of the situation. My intention was not to harm the city of Kalamazoo, Michigan at all. The movie hopefully can shine light on the dangers of what could potentially happen. And it sucks and it's horrible that these events happened and that some might continue to happen. But hopefully steps are being made every day to help our world become more safe. And I know Uber and Lyft are not perfect. They're far from perfect. But I think they're continually doing their best to make sure their riders and drivers are safe. It's actually might even be more dangerous as a driver, I think, because as someone that used to drive for one of the rideshare companies, you pick up someone at like 2 a.m. and their name is Jamie, right? Or like you don't know if it's a guy or if it's a girl. You don't see their face. You don't see what they look like at all. At least when I was driving, they didn't have that. I don't know if they have that now. Um, so it's almost scarier because you don't know who these people are, and that you don't really. These people aren't they don't get vetted. So a lot of the drivers, actually all the drivers, have to pass a background check. Do any of the writers have to pass a background check? I don't think so. So that could be a conversation that we could have and talk about because, if there's a criminal, if there's a murderer, a rapist, or someone evil who wants to do harm trying to hitch a ride, that's not a good thing. So maybe this can actually help spark a conversation. I know there's a lot of Uber drivers that watch my channel that have seen rideshare. So what do you guys think? I mean, perhaps we can help work together to help make the community a lot safer. I mean, keep this conversation going. So I think one big thing would be for the apps. I think Lyft might do it. I don't think Uber does it yet. But again, like I haven't driven or ridden Uber, especially when this whole thing, pandemic happened. I haven't really used it yet. But I think the biggest thing that we could do is uh, at least have a picture of the person who you're riding. Or there's a lot of times if a boyfriend is getting the Uber for a girlfriend, right? If there's a way to facilitate that so exactly who's picking you up, because if it's says you're picking up John and then you're picking up Susie or whatever it is, there's got to be a safe way to go about doing that. So again, abundantly clear, I do not want anyone to think that I was trying to make a mockery of the events that happened or any event that has happened in rideshare. Part of the humor just comes from the characters and the situation. So it's not something that's like, ha ha, oh, they died, this is so funny. It's more of like, these are things that happen. And anyway, what do you guys think of this? We can start a conversation in the comments if you want, or not. Again, I'm not trying to make light of any of this, and I hope that that's abundantly clear. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next video. Next video is going to be a lot. It's going to be more of the funny ones, but I wanted to address this one first before I got to the rest of the Amazon ones that are more, people that are just really hating on the movie, which is totally fine. And we can have fun with that, but this is a very serious thing that we had to be addressed. And again, thank you so much for the person that commented about it, so we can address this issue and talk about it in the comments. All right, guys, talk to you later.